the premise is to protect our airports. So we don't want to approve a tall building next to an airport and then realize we couldn't use our airport anymore. So that's the only reason. Any further discussion? We'll go to number 2, zoning ordinance amendment, or do I want to vote?
I think you got to.
We'll go ahead and call a vote.
Need a motion to approve the airport district.
I move to
As
approve,
presented.
Mr. Chairman.
With the amendments, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
With the
I'll
amendment.
second that.
Greg's amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so we're 5-0.
All right.
Okay, zoning ordinance amendment, airport safety overlay. So you can speak to that, Greg?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chair. This one is basically, I encapsulated the state code requirement.
And this is through the FAA.
Yes, sir. And it's basically in the state code. I wanted to reflect the most current state language we have. We already have it on our county code, but I want to incorporate this when we converge the two documents, the county code and the zoning ordinance. I think they should both reflect the same things. What this does is acknowledge that both airports will comply with this zoning overlay district. And it's basically just saying the type of height, the height of the buildings, the setbacks and whatnot to prevent glare from and visual obstacles. I want to compliment again Mr. Van Orbeek because he did a great job. He worked with the Virginia Aviation Authority and provided staff with some additions to this text, and they're incorporated in this document. Again, the Planning Commission heard this on October 21st, and they did approve with no conditions. And staff recommended support of this.
All right. So I'll go ahead and ask for a motion to open the hearing on the airport overlay, safety overlay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this public hearing is open. Does anybody wish to speak on this matter? All right, seeing no one, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Does the board have any discussion on the airport safety overlay?
No, sir.
Anyone? I'll ask for a motion to approve the airport safety overlay as presented.
I'll
Mr.
make the
Chairman.
motion to approve it as
Second.
presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
5-0, approval. Next, we have presentations, and we are joined by Dr. Melba Moore and Pam Wallace of Crossroads. Dr. Moore is the Executive Director. Pam Wallace is Director of Intellectual and Developmental Services.
Chairman
Thank you for coming.
Collins,
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
members of the board, county administrator, and citizens in attendance. I'd like to first say just thank you for all that you have done in supporting Crossroads Community Services Board. Before I forget, and to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Every month I send over a monthly report that just outlines the services that we actually provide. Tonight, what we want to do, what my colleague Pam Wallace is going to do, is to present to you the metrics of success that she has identified for her program area. This is the year where we talk about, and we always talk about it, but we really want to focus on it, data driving our decisions that we make at Crossroads. So you'll be hearing from more of my directors about their metrics for success, but tonight, Ms. Wallace is going to present. And again, thank you for your continued support.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for having us. So as was said, I am the Director of Developmental Services for Crossroads. Been here about 9 years, almost 9 years. So we provide services to the 7 counties in our catchment area, but we have 3 specific services that we provide on the DD side of the house. We have case management, we have day support services, and we have group home residential services. And all of these services are provided to people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I have the PowerPoint that you have. I'm going to go through this with you. These are just some of the things that we're measuring this year for within our services to just make sure that we're doing the best we can and providing the best services for the people that we have. So the first one is staff retention. So our goal, because there's a lot of turnover in our area, our goal is to have 75% of the current staff that we had on July 1 still with us on June 30th, 2026. So for the fiscal year, we want to have 75% staff retention. So we're doing that by staff appreciation events and ideas and kind of pats on the back. Open cross-departmental communication. So we are including different areas in the same trainings, in the same meetings, so that they get to know each other and we're not in silos. And recognition of their work completed. So there again, like just the caught you doing good type moments where we're giving them pats on the back. So the first graph in your packet shows our staffing numbers in those three areas. So case management is your first short column of 13 and 12. We're down one case manager since we started this, collecting this data in July. We're down 2 staff in day support, and we're down, as of the end of October, 2 staff in residential. So we are at a 94.3% staff retention rate from as of from July 1st until October 31st. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's actually really good considering what we have seen, kind of the trends we've seen across the state and in the past few years. Our measure number 2 is to increase our census in residential. So I'll tell you a little bit about residential briefly. We have 6 operational group homes right now, and each group home is either 6 beds or less. We have some that are 4 and some that are 6. So we would like to increase our census and the people that live there by 3 people in this fiscal year. That's a little hard to do because there are over 600 group homes in the state of Virginia for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So there's a lot of competition, a lot of choices out there for folks to have when it comes to choosing the home that fits them. So we're doing that by coordinating tours of the homes with our case managers. We're improving our curb appeal. We put into our budget this year that we were going to do landscaping, we were going to do outdoor improvements, as well as inside improvements of our group homes. And we have developed a digital marketing tool that goes out to our community partners, other community services boards, just kind of marketing our group homes to others. So the second graph we've got there shows that we have what our census is in our group homes. So that has not changed from July 1st to present. And so it shows, there's a slide that shows how many vacancies we have. So we have a total of, our capacity is 30, and right now we have a total of 25 people in our group home. So we have 5 empty beds as of tonight. So we're still looking to try to improve that measure. That, like I said, that's hard to do because there's so much competition for group homes. And then the third measure that's in your packet is to increase our census and our day support programs. So we operate 3 day support programs. We have one in Cambridge in Lunenburg County, we have one in Charlotte Courthouse, and we have one in Cumberland County right on 45 as you're leaving Farmville. We're doing that. We're trying to increase that census, 1 for each program. It would be our goal, by coordinating tours and also more digital marketing, just getting our facilities out there for others to know about. And so we have not changed our census from July 1 until now. And again, same thing with the day support as the residential. There's a lot of options out there for people. So we're just, we're working with case managers to try to identify those folks that might need a day support program. And then some other measures that we're working on, and this is just a constant thing for us, is we want to make sure we bill 100% of our services. We serve about 350 people with developmental disabilities across the 7 counties. So we want to make sure we're touching those 350 people every month, getting that billable service done. And if they're coming to our day support programs and if they're living in our group homes, we want to make sure we do all those service authorizations to make sure that we have the authorizations from Medicaid to be able to bill those services. So we also are always looking to grow relationships with our county schools and the colleges in our catchment area. So we have a team that goes out and visits the schools and tries to capture those folks with developmental disabilities before they graduate, so we can get them into our services and we can make sure that they've got all the tools that they need to have a successful life beyond school. So that's all I have for you. Thank you for your time. And if there's anybody in attendance that has someone that's looking for our services, you know, my contact information is in there. And also you can just call Crossroads and we'll be glad to set up a time to talk about it.
I do have a question. In our reports, I'm on the board with Crossroads. In our reports, Nottoway is a big user of Crossroads. It's my understanding it's the other counties have a place in the county, an office. What do you have in the other counties that you don't have here?
Well, we do have, like I said, we have 3-day support programs that are in 3 of the 7 counties. So that's in Lunenburg, Charlotte, and in Cumberland. And then we have...
That's a gym, that's a big room,
It's actually buildings.
As a
So we own the 2 buildings in Lunenburg County and in Cumberland County. And then we have space that's kind of we rent space from the county, Charlotte County, for it's an old school that we kind of rent the gym area. But we have, you know, those are where the folks come in from 8 to 4 or 8 to 3:30 every day, and we provide day activities for them. So they go in the community, they do, you know, games, current events, they cook, we teach them daily living skills, you know, that kind of thing, crafts, that kind of stuff. So that's what happens in the day support programs. Our group homes, we have 5 that are located in Cumberland County on the same property as that day support program, and then we have 2 in Farmville, in Prince Edward County. So we don't have any physical locations in Nottoway County.
Are y'all looking maybe to expand to that?
I would love to say yes, but like I said, the competition is so great for us with the services we provide that it's just our beds in the current group homes aren't full, and then our day support programs have, you know, room to take other people in. We're not at maximum capacity, so I don't honestly think that we could, in good faith, you know, open another one and have overhead for a program.
The citizens of Nottoway that use Crossroads, they go to
Yes.
the Bush River campus?
Yes. And so we have, we provide transportation. That's something that I didn't touch on, but we provide transportation to our day support programs. So anybody that lives in Nottoway that comes to our day support programs, which we have some, we provide that transportation to and from. So, so we go get in the vans in the mornings and send drivers out to pick them up, bring them back to day support for the day, and then take them home in the afternoons. So the services are available to the people from Nottoway County, and we do have people that use our day support program that live in Nottoway.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Ms. Wallace,
Yes.
could you clarify something for me where y'all said there was no change in the census? What exactly is your census comprised of?
Well, residential.
Okay.
We have we have a certain amount of group home beds. So we have 6 group homes, and we have a capacity of 30 within those 6 group homes. And we have 5 empty beds right now. So we haven't had anybody move in or move out of our group homes since the beginning of July. Same thing with our day support programs. I can't tell you what our capacity is for day support. We have ratios that we have to stay within according to Medicaid guidelines. So we cannot have more than 7 individuals to 1 staff if the individuals are, you know, I'm just going to use the word calm. If they have significant negative behaviors, then our ratio goes down. It's 3 people to 1 staff, so 3 individuals to 1 staff. So if we increase our census in our day support programs, we have to increase our staffing, which is not a problem. We're willing to do that. But so I can't really say what capacity would be for day support because our buildings will hold quite a few people, but we just have to increase our staffing as the individuals that attend increase.
Okay, so when y'all are going through the estimate of the contribution through the Department of DBHDS for your General Revenue Award, it says that it's done with an increase of 5% based on the previous year's award. If y'all are doing no increase in the census, where does the 5% increase, what is that based on?
So I am solely the developmental services side, the division. So we also have a mental health division, we have substance use, we have emergency services. So we provide a lot more services, and they are a much bigger unit than we are. We provide services to, like I said, about 350 people. They provide services to 1,500 to 2,000. It's a much greater number and so we provide, we have our med management, which would be our psychiatry service. We have our outpatient mental health services, which would be therapy, mental health skill building. We have a day support program called Townhouse that does psychosocial rehabilitation. They have in the services that are for substance use, such as group therapy. They also have liaisons for the jails, so they work on that transition.
Okay. Well, so just so I can move along here, it says that there's maybe additional funding in next year's fiscal year to meet state requirements, but yet it states that the requirement is fluid.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Rourke.
Mr. Rourke. That letter that we sent. So here's the situation. Annually, we have to prepare our budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Our budget we prepare our budget in alignment with the counties. We won't receive notification from DBHDS as to the exact amount that we're going to receive. So as we prepare our budgets, we're preparing them and doing an estimate based on the previous year amount that we received. So it falls within a 2 to 5% increase. Some years we get a little bit more. So then what we have to do is reassess, readjust, come back to you guys, but that's after the budget has already been passed. So that amount has to roll over. That's why we say it's fluid, that it will roll over and be included in the next fiscal year.
Okay, as you may be aware of, it says, you know, Nottoway County has some pretty big projects coming up, and it says that there an option here where the county on detailing any major projects that will that take substantial capital as proof for any further needs for a state waiver. Well, we could use a state waiver for the next 20 years right now.
Every year I ask, if we fall below not meeting our 10% match, I do make a request, and I have submitted a request for FY26.
Okay, so that's for y'all receiving payment from the state, not the county's
That includes
portion.
what we talk about with the counties.
Okay.
So I asked for a waiver for Crossroads to receive the waiver that our counties have not contributed and we haven't met. So we're in this together.
Okay.
So we haven't met our 10% match. So that's why I asked for that waiver.
So we need to make sure we get a waiver drafted and get that over to them so they understand that, I mean.
I think they're doing it on our behalf, right?
They do it on our behalf.
We do it on your behalf.
Okay.
What I will need, and I'm so thank you for doing this, what I will need on your letterhead stationery, Dr. Moore, Nottoway County is unable to contribute whatever amount we give you, whatever we give you and tell you based on the budget that we submit to you. We're unable to meet that obligation, and here's why.
Right.
I take that letter and submit it to the state along with my request for a waiver.
And that's what I was getting to. I understand that. I felt like y'all probably had to have something from us to present to the state. So, yeah, we're in, I don't want to call it a crisis, but.
And we've had similar conversations last year.
Thank you, Dad.
So I understand.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Did anybody else have anything?
Thank you.
Dr. Moore and Ms. Moss, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Ms.
it.
Wallace, Ms.
Thank you
Moore,
for
y'all.
taking care of our citizens that need it. Mr. French here? I don't see Mr. French.
Mr. French has some come up, and he has apologized for not being here, but he will see you in December.
Okay.
But of course, if you got any questions or something, you send me an email and we can forward it to him, or you can send it straight. And because I think Mr. Ingram had a thing that we want to talk about, so we'll figure that out.
Okay, anything on the landfill? Gary Easter, solid waste.
We had a recent DEQ inspection. One of the biggest, got a new inspector. One of the biggest write-up is loose paper, and Piedmont Regional Jail came through. We get pretty good on the Piedmont Regional Jail, so they sent a lot of those inmates and picked up a lot of trash. So I think all we got to do is take pictures of that and send it back to them, and they'll take that write-up off, from my understanding.
Good. So,
And
identified-
windy.
Yeah.
It's been
very
windy. It has been windy.
It has
You
been
rake
windy.
leaves and it comes back on you,
That's
don't
right.
it?
Building inspections, any report?
No, no, sir, not at this moment.
And we've not located one yet?
No, sir. We're still working on that. If you know anybody that's got that talent,
We've got a few applications, right?
yeah, I've got a couple applications, that's right. And I'm looking probably to interview, and I know Mrs. Norton had mentioned it, and about possibly being on the panel, but, you know, when we get to there, I'll let y'all know when it is.
Just for the public's knowledge on that, right now we are using Prince Edwards or
We're using Prince Edward and Amelia, mostly Amelia. There was a guy in Amelia, Richard Hall, Andrew, is that the right name? Huh?
Jones.
Jones, Richard Jones. That's what I don't know. Richard Hall. I don't know. I think about a rich cousin. So, but anyway, he is helping us 3 days a week also.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'll tell you why that happened. The inspectors were getting a little wore out. It's hunting season,
Oh,
and Jerry Williams from Amelia wants to hunt anyway. So,
I understand.
So we're getting there, but we're still in the budget, within the budget of the vacant position.
So we're still just using that salary?
That's right.
All right. Anything on animal control?
Not at this time.
All right. And then we got Piedmont Health District, Nottoway County Public Library. I see Dr. Martin out there. Did you have anything for the Nottoway County School Board? Okay, good evening, Dr. Martin.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Y'all didn't get a speeding ticket getting back here, did
I did not. Might have come in hot, but. So good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Mr. Bowen. So again, thank you for allowing me to speak this evening and to share some updates about the school division for you. But before anything else, I want to express sincere appreciation for ongoing partnership and support with the school division. Nottoway County Public Schools does not stand alone in this work. We have to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. I truly value the need for open conversations that we've shared as we navigate challenges and opportunities for our community. So tonight, I want to express gratitude, but I want to be honest and transparent in where the school division is. So the first thing is the local composite index. And oftentimes people don't understand the school system's finances and the budget because it works a little bit different, but it also ties into the progress that we've seen. The local composite index is the formula that determines how much the state believes our county can pay towards education. It has shifted, and it will shift significantly for the 26-28 biennium. Nottoway has to move from 0.2696 to 0.2820 in the next cycle. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. It's upwards of probably $500,000 that has to be adjusted there. So what does this exactly mean? It means that the state share decreases and the local share has to increase towards public education in Nottoway. The required local effort is the amount the county is required to fund the school division, which is currently $6,161,775. That does not change for this year, but the next fiscal cycle, 26 through 28, it will. If we don't receive and spend the funding, then we lose our state funding, which as a small rural school division, we cannot afford to lose. In actuality, the state funds 73% of our budget, and the school division receives about 27% from the county. People often ask why give them the funds back at the end of the year. Well, it's not the local funds that are being given back, but our state share that we are allowed to keep because we're required to meet that bare minimum at the county level. So we are now working to place those funds that we're getting back in an account for capital improvements. As in past years, when we received final ADM figures, we reduced the county's required local effort to us. So we did it last year, we'll do it again this year. If our ADM is a little bit lower than projected, then we will reduce the amount come spring that the county would have to give us as a match. Unfortunately, it's not a choice. It is a requirement of the state funding structure, and it changes the financial landscape for our schools in ways we must confront together. I want to be transparent with you. This shift will not place additional responsibility on local funding, or it will place it. It's a responsibility we cannot meet without our continued partnership and our work together between both the school division and the county. So my hope and my request is very simple, that we continue to meet, talk openly and honestly, and examine the needs of our school division. Yes, the needs of our buildings, but I'll also talk about the needs of our students, our programs, and the outcomes we expect for our children in our community. This is not a one-time conversation. It's a partnership, a shared responsibility for the future of children in Nottoway. So I share this next part with great pride. I shared it with the school board last week at our meeting because it reflects what happens when a community invests in its children. Thanks to those matching funds, the at-risk funding, and the local support you've provided, we have moved the needle in real measurable ways. I remember us discussing last year about the needs and the reasons why we need this match fund. These are the gains that have come from that funding source. 27.5% of our students improved their performance from the fall of '24 on the VALS assessment to the fall of '25. That's a reading assessment that we have to screen all of our students with in K through 3 and now 4 through 8. Students in the low risk reading band increased from 16% last year to 26% this year. That's a 10-point increase in the number of students that are on track for reading success. Our high risk band, so the opposite end, decreased from 47% to 37%, meaning fewer children are at risk of reading failure. And many of the students moved into what we call the moderate risk band at those early levels, where they're actively making gains and closing gaps. And we want them to be closing those gaps. We want them to be able to read fluently by the time they get to 3rd grade, because that is an indicator of success for children. So these are not numbers on a spreadsheet. These are children. Children who are reading better, learning better, and gaining confidence because the community has invested in them. That's what progress looks like, and it's what hope looks like, and it's what a partnership makes possible. So you're probably thinking, why, what does it mean, and why am I sharing this with you tonight? So I ask for your continued collaboration, your openness, and your willingness to partner deeply with us as we navigate this new financial reality and the needs of the school and community. I'm not asking you for blind support, because we will and we can share all the needs and supports that we have. I'm asking for a shared understanding, a shared planning, and a shared commitment to our children. Together we can align our goals as a county, address our building needs that you have heard me say multiple times responsibly, continue closing those achievement gaps, and ensure that every child, every family knows that Nottoway County believes in its schools. In closing, I stand here not just as the superintendent of Nottoway County Public Schools, but I am actually someone who grew up in these schools. I've worked in these schools, I graduated, I benefited from the teachers that we have here, and then I came home because I do believe in Nottoway County. Every decision we make today shapes whatever happens for Nottoway and for our children, our workforce, our economies, our families, and ultimately the identity that Nottoway County shares. Strong schools are the heart of a strong community and a county. At a time when the state has shifted that responsibility onto us, we must rise to meet that moment together. So I just want to say thank you for the partnership, your service, your commitment to us, to the children of Nottoway. On behalf of the school division, I do wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Dr. Barnes.
While we have Dr. Barton here, if you don't mind, they have requested a joint meeting December 8th at 7:30. And I've got 3 commitments, but Mr. Toth and, I don't know, there's another commitment I need, and I forgot who the other one is.
Mr. Ingram, I think.
Mr. Ingram.
I'm good.
Mr. Toth, you
I'll have
possible?
to let you know, I ain't looked at the calendar.
Oh, okay.
December the 8th is on the
I
way.
think, the chairman, you don't want to have a meeting unless everybody's there,
I
right?
want all 5 board members there. We're not,
Is it December the 8th is what?
it's a Monday.
Monday.
I'll make it work.
Okay. 7:30?
I'll be there.
And another point of clarification,
Whereabouts?
just a point of clarification.
Where is it?
It'll be at the mini auditorium.
Okay.
Point of clarification to make sure we understand. The A&TC funding, the $300 and some thousand, that is not part of the composite index, correct?
Yes, sir, that is
Okay.
not.
That is
So-
extra taxpayer money.
Yes, so I will share with you that within our budget, we do fund a part of A&TC. That is part of what we have that we provide to them, our share. However, the county does, as you were saying, and it's been quite a few years back, they agreed to fund above that cost to help build that program, and it ranges. It's about $300,000,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more than that.
Right.
That is not part. That funding source is not part, but I will say it's a valuable program that we have there. But in transparency and honesty, that is not part of
Okay.
the requirement.
Just want to clarify so y'all know that.
Just quick projection. Without that $500,000, roughly how much, nothing them hold you to, roughly how much could y'all lose from the state if we didn't fund the additional 500,000 in 26 to 28?
We don't get our state funding because we haven't met our required local effort
Okay,
from the county.
right.
Now, matches, the required local match is different, and that was the source of our conversation last year. I think I told you about the funding for reading, the funding for class size reduction, at-risk students that we have, and as we have students that are at risk. But like I said, the funding that comes from that, as you can see, those are significant gains to have 10-point gains in 1 year. And we anticipate even more than that. This is the second year we are implementing our reading series. Teachers are seeing gains with kids across the board. So it's a significant impact for us.
Let me ask a question, Marcia,
Yes,
my
sir.
former student. My understanding is the state lottery money comes to the division for buildings, right? For construction?
Most of the time, state lottery is tied to at-risk.
It's tied to at-risk? For some reason, I thought it was tied
Well, when they started the lottery, it was supposed to go to buildings, I
Right,
believe.
that's what I thought.
Right.
So they've changed that?
A lot of it goes into at-risk funding. I'll have to get additional clarification for you, because I don't have all of that in front of
Right.
me, but I can double check. So, there's a lot of stuff out there now too, speaking of buildings, the school construction assistance program that came out, just now, and it has no local match to it,
Excellent,
which is great. But let me tell you the catch, because there's always a catch to it.
certainly.
70% has to come from the locality, the state gives you 30%. Well, when you're talking about HVAC units that are upwards of $4 million to replace, 30% is not helping us if we don't have the rest of the pool there. Like, we could do a small project, but still, then we would deplete that capital improvement that we're trying to build and carry over for the needs that we have. I did share with you too, last month or the month before, we're in the process of getting back our ADA compliance studies now, and starting to go through those. They're thick documents. And our newest school in the county, which is the high school, which is still 30 plus years old, 35 years old, because I think I was a sophomore the year that it opened up. And I'm not that old. So.
I was going to say, you're
Let
telling
me
your
just preface
age.
that. It's right now, it has some of the most significant improvements that need to meet ADA as we're starting to go through. Now, a lot of it's low-hanging fruit that we can do really quick that really won't cost us a lot, just adjustments of lowering things and stuff. But that's not even getting into some of our older buildings. And it came back about that thick for the first one and the second one. And we're starting to go through them now, and then, of course, the board will get them. So when I talk about their needs, there are building needs. And, people say to us, well, build it in the budget. We don't have a extra budget. We're meeting all of our SOQs, and we don't even fund full SOQ. I mean, we do fund our full SOQs, but if we funded only what SOQ says, you're talking about losing multiple staff and people and needs and services and things like that. And we cut positions this year that we didn't need, and class sizes went up. But when you have high needs and high class sizes, and it takes a lot. So, but we do appreciate the continued support. I'm glad to hear it looks like December 8th. works,
See,
so
That was consensus.
I will have Charlotte advertise it tomorrow on our end so that we'll go ahead and get our stuff out.
It's just hard, it was hard to get the board to commit. I mean, it's Christmas and Thanksgiving
I
and
get
that kind of
it.
thing.
Thank you, Dr. Martin.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Discussion, yes. Social Services, Ms. Reed,
No report.
Mr. Zodi.
Triple G.
Okay, good evening again. I just have 3 quick updates for you all. Catherine, Ms. Douglas and I are working together on the solar ordinance updates that we've mentioned, I believe, at a last work session. And I presented that to the board, to the Planning Commission Tuesday night, and they gave me some great direction moving forward. And so Ms. Douglas and I are going to continue to work together on that. Secondly, we have our first application for the airport zoning district, and that will be heard next month. at the December 16th Planning Commission meeting. And lastly, I do have potentially 2 to 3 new solar applications. I'm doing a pre-application on Tuesday afternoon, and I'll report to the board more about that.
You say 2, Greg?
Tuesday, yes, sir. Yeah, I believe 2 o'clock with CEP is the group. I think the projects they're looking at are located on Sunnyside Road.
Those were smaller projects.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zodi, excellent report. Emergency Services, Mr. Hyde.
Hey, buddy.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board,
Good evening.
Good evening.
staff, citizens. My report is in your packet, just to highlight a couple of things as I always do, and then I've got some things I want to talk with you about afterwards and got a handout for you. So if you could indulge with me a little bit, I've got some information for you tonight I think will be very helpful. And I'm ready to tell it like it is tonight, so you ready?
All right, we always ready to hear like it is.
Well, I'm gonna give you a couple of tidbits. You're not gonna hear it all from me, but anyway, that's what I'm here to do. So let's look at this report real quick. The safety audits have been going well. Dr. Martin just finished. We've been enjoying working with her and her staff. I gotta tell you, we do this every year. We walk through all the schools. I think I wanted citizens to hear about this. This is good. We take all of our fire chiefs that are in those districts, and we take the police officers, myself, and all of us, and we walk through the schools of those particular districts. We go through everything that's under Nottoway County Public School System. And we look at audit of safety. Audit's a tough word, right? We're talking about safety right here, not money. So basically, we just go through with them, and that's been good. Then we also fast forward to October 20th, Dr. Martin and SRO Robert Sawyer, who I'm working closely with on some planning. We went through a facilitation of a school meeting led by Dr. Martin, and you know, we did a great job at the mini auditorium going over with the active shooter drill we had back April the 4th. We're going to have another one December 22nd. You're all invited right now. You're invited. If you can make it, it's going to be great. We're going to build off of the April 4th, and we'll all be there. We're hoping for a good turnout, but, you know, this is the middle of the week, and this is deer season, and we're gonna hope that we get as many volunteers as we can, but you know, during the week it's good because that's when school is in. So, but what we're doing on the 22nd, the reason we're doing that day is Dr. Martin picked that because it's a work day and they are already there, but the students are not. So that's what we're trying to do is make sure that, you know, we could do it, you know, where it's a little bit less disruption, but there's the chance for staff. See, we didn't have staff on the April 4th because it was spring break. That's okay because we had a good drill. But we want to incorporate them this time. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a new piece in this one. Dr. Martin wants to do, and her staff want to do a reunification, where we take the parents, if something like this happens, you take the parents and you bring them to where the students are going to be. So we're going to have transportation involved. This will be a big scale deal, okay? And we're building off again. What we did on the 4th was basically the threat. We didn't do the reunification piece, and we didn't move a lot of students. We just had about 20 volunteer students at that one. So that's just a little bit about that. Again, December 22nd. And it's going to be pretty much all day. I think we're going to get started about 8 o'clock that morning, and we're going to go through different variations of it. But yeah, I mean, feel free to pop in. Ms. Collins, I know you're probably hunting that day. That's going to be, I usually would be. But we are really going to have, I think, a good turnout on that. We're going to have the command post trailer. All right, the next item of business is we helped Phil Morgan and Phil Miskovic with the crew planning for the Chicken Festival. That went really well. So we had no incidents except one fire. We had a fire out there, actually. We had a hangar with an electrical connection caught on fire right in front of the band. So everybody's dancing. They said, oh, my goodness, there's fire. We called the fire department. We went out. We got a ladder, fire extinguisher, put it out. Had a little bit of an event there, but the Chicken Festival was really good. We hope that everyone will come out next year. You know, crew didn't pay me to say that, but start planning for next year. We also had an elopement exercise of a patient at Piedmont Geriatric Hospital on the 27th. That was a highlight I want to tell you about. And of course, Bailey did a great job, you know, our bloodhound. I'm Nottoway County bloodhound. So Ty Moore, excellent working relationship with him. And then I want to fast forward. You saw my emails, but I just want the public to know. So we ought to put this out on the speaker and on the video. that we went to speak on the Magnolia Hospital down in Chesterfield on November the 6th. That's going to be at Route 360 in Otterdale Road. And they invited Nottoway County and they invited Amelia County and Chesterfield to speak. So what we did is we went down and we went in order. Fire Chief of Chesterfield went first. Emergency Services Coordinator for Amelia went next, and then myself. And we were able to talk about the distance from Nottoway County, from the seat. I took the numbers from right here where we're sitting here. And just to tell them what it's like to go to Johnston Willis, what it's like to go to Chippenham and other locations for patients. And this is going to be 39 miles away when it's built, if it's built. And what we were speaking on is in favor of, and hopefully still have a standalone something out here one day. This is a full-blown hospital, 60 beds, 6 ICU units, et cetera. So we went to speak on that in front of an appeals board. And then also, I was invited over to Amelia County. I've helped them a couple of days with their interview process. They wanted a mutual aid neighbor to sit on the panel, so I was able to watch their clientele that they had coming in to apply for the various emergency service jobs that they're transitioning to. Any questions on my report? I've got
Sounds
a
like you've been
couple
pretty
good-
busy, buddy.
Got to go, well,
I thought I was
just
busy.
getting started. So, but anyway, just a real quick, these are some points for the public and you. This is really big, so everybody listen up. I hear a lot of comments in the field, and I want to address a few of them. Fire and EMS has always been funded with tax funds, every one. Always been funded with tax funds, every county, everywhere. But now we have it earmarked. It's earmarked with a levy by Code of Virginia, which means it's totally accountable. How many sections of budgets are? Ours is. That's just a point. The next point I want to make is I'm responding to people in the community that say we're on a fixed income. I have a mother that's 86 on a fixed income. I get it. I get it. Guess who the #1 caller of EMS is? People on a fixed income. #1 caller. Run the ambulances all the time. I've been on one for 40 years. It's never changed. Guess what? Geriatric population's growing. It's going to get worse. Fixed incomes are still going to call 911. We're here. We go to everybody. We go to absolutely everybody. And we treat them all the same. It always have. Next point. 85 volunteers on Christie's records at the Commissioner of Revenue's office. They have vehicles. They actually put in for vehicles. 85 volunteers. Christie, I know you're listening. I may be off a few numbers, but let's say it's 85. If we paid them what the average is in this salary study I just did, which is $65K, that is $5.5 million. It's what our 85 volunteers that are right here in Nottoway County right now, 2 of them sitting over here, $5.5 million that we're not paying. So let's talk about what's really on the roster. 120 volunteers in Nottoway County. 4 agencies, volunteers, have a few careers, I'm not counting them. I'm just counting volunteers. $7.8 million. So write that down. Everyone, write that down. That is what we're not paying, okay? So that's my job, that's what I do. I want to bring that to you, call me. These are facts. All right, so that's pretty much it. Do we have any questions? I have a document. And also I want to say that, you know, there's been some things said over the past week or two based on a presentation last Thursday night. It's been referencing me. Not happy about it. Person has not called me. Person has not asked me questions. Don't know if it's one person. Could be several. So I'm not calling names. I'm being professional about it. But all people have to do is call. You know, if they have something they want to propose, that's what I'm here for. And I'm glad to sit down. And I can either prove them right or prove them wrong. You know, it's not my first rodeo. It's probably my 100,000th rodeo. So with that, I have a bombshell document that I want to give to the board tonight. I'm going to use yours.
Yes, sir.
I just had to look at you because I like that word.
Yes, sir.
I want to give you this document from 1999. I like it. I really like it. Because the legacy people of Nottoway County wrote this. People that everyone respects and mentors, man, did they nail it. They're doing the same thing in '99 that when I rolled in here, I wanted to do too. So this helps reinforce what I already knew. What I already knew, what we want to do, what we need to do.
While we receiving these, buddy, those numbers that you used, that 7 million something for $65,000 for the volunteers, if it was a paid staff, you could get by with a lot less numbers than the 120.
The 120, I'm not following.
All right, so if
Volunteer's not available as much as his paid staff member.
Correct.
right, what I'm saying is, if a crew department, say they got 40 volunteers, if that became a paid staff, they wouldn't need 40. They could do it with perhaps 21. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
So that would reduce that $7 million number way down. I don't want the public to think that if we paid, or if we went all to paid, that it would cost $7.5 million, because it would not.
That is correct.
Okay,
So
I just
you would
wanted to bring
only
it
need
while
a
we got this.
portion- Right, this is
You
just,
took the average income divided by the total of volunteers.
Yeah.
When we need those volunteers and more volunteers to
Yeah.
keep it volunteer.
yeah, well, you're right.
follow what I'm saying?
You're right, Mr. Toth, that's a good point, and I tell you, it's two numbers there that you're exactly right. You're mentioning one number that I took an average of. The other one that you can't really hang your hat on until you sit down and crunch and figure what you want is the fact that 65,000 may not always be the figure.
Correct.
You know, you can hire people in at 45. Now, 65 is with a benefit package, so that's about a 45,000 person.
But you took that and multiplied it times 120 to get your
I
total
did.
figure, and
I
that's
did.
because that's how many volunteers are currently there.
That is correct.
But my point is, we wouldn't need that many volunteers
Yeah.
if they housed the fire station 24/7 with, say, 8 people per fire.
You could do it with less. You know, we're fortunate that we have that many people on the roster.
We're very fortunate because we don't have to pay that. We ain't able to pay what we need to pay.
That's right.
but-
In other words, you're getting, to your point, you're getting more people for the free amount.
Exactly right.
Whereas if you
That's
go
their
to-
value.
That is
their
the value, yeah, and that's what I
I-
was trying to
right.
convey.
Called
Exactly.
added value.
It's added
That
value.
Added value
It's added value.
is important.
Now, and you know, like that, even if you were to go and say hire 20 people over the years, over the next several years at some point, I'm just saying that if you still had those 120 on roll, you're still getting the added value of that 7 million in addition to what you're investing in
Yeah, but the added value, you gotta take that with a
Yeah.
grain because any 3 of the volunteer stations, many of those people that are listed as a volunteer, they don't ever see them. I know a couple people that say they volunteer. I ain't never seen them go to a fire call.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's why I put that 85 figure out, because those are the people that give Christie the active
I think about 25, I'm just guessing, hypothetical number, 25% of the volunteers
Yeah,
do 100% of the work.
yeah. Oh, we've been using that for years.
So that's the number we need to use to divide the
20%
labor.
use-
65,000 times the 25% will give us about a number.
Yeah, 20% do 80% of the work.
There you
We've been
go.
saying that. Well, here's, and just so the public will know, Mr. Toth, this is a good thing. You saw the sheet that I gave you all on what 16 people cost?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that a minute. So, you would not pay that many people, you would not have that many people, but let's say you do 17, which is what I gave you all. 17 is 1.5 mil. So there you go. It's 1.5 mil. So if you want to just keep, and you can just add those figures, and the sheet I gave you was something that you can use. It's not saying that I'm proposing you get 16. I'm not saying you get 8. You make that decision, and you take that number I had for one person, which I think I used an average of 54,000 for that one. You know, I was a little lower than this, but that's with the full benefit package, and you use that and do the math. But 17 people at that figure was 1.5 million, and that's everything. That's absolutely everything. That's uniform. That's medical physical, which you have to have. You have to have a medical physical.
Turnout gear.
Well, you would if you had fire, and for fire, you'd have to add more than that, but that would be just a basic uniform. All right, so the document you have in front of you, did everybody get one? Mr. Bowen, did I have one for you too?
Yeah, you talking about the 1999?
Correct,
Yeah,
1999
yeah, I got it.
document. This is really
I was looking at
good.
the names, a lot of them passed away. these
Well,
folks.
they have, and actually, it's interesting that some of the people that signed off on this thing are still around. Not that many, but you know, the thing of it is we really respect these people, like Walter Mack Osborne. man, I tell you what, just a leader at the time. Joey's on here. Joey Shaneff is on this document. Val Wilson, somebody that really mentored me when I first came in. Oh, and John Shute actually signed off on this thing, along with Paul Bennett. So how about that? But, you know, these are people that are still around. Hugh Berkeley, I remember him. You remember him? But they were saying, you know, let's work together. And that's something that I've pushed since I've been here. So now I want to fast forward 2021. This was 1999. They were having a problem. It was so bad, they had to get conflict resolution. Read that back sentence. They wanted to do that. And then this thing folded. 2021, the state comes in here before the ice storm, or right after it, I think, and said that we needed to work as one. And we needed to figure this out. Well, I've been using that as a playbook for 3 years. And we've done things in about 10 categories out of the 15. Some of those things you can't fund, that's why we haven't done it. So now I want to show you an ordinance. Can I give Catherine a copy of this draft as I give this to you? Do you mind if I just give her this to look at?
That's fine.
This is just a cover page, and I got a big draft on it. Is where we think we need to go based on the 99 document, which I'd already done this before I saw the 99. I uncovered that in a box that Mr. Procyse had put the 99 documents in the EOC, and I found it the other day. Is that God working or what? I found it looking for a storm.
You need one more.
And that's where I found that 99 document in a box that he gave me. We stored it at the EOC with hurricane information. So this is what I'm proposing as the beginning, and I think it needs to be 3 pages because we need to take all the ordinances we've ever done to recognize fire and EMS in this county and combine them into one. It doesn't change anyone's structure. There's nothing here to be threatening. This is to make it organized. And so I just made this really brief 1-pager for you to show what we can do, and we can get, if you know your blessing, if you want to go this route, we can get Gary and Catherine to help us make sure the wording is right by ordinance law. But I've done ordinance before, so as you can see, I got it formatted already. And the reason Fort Pickett is on there, we may need to change that. We may need to do something different with that. But if I can have this back, Mr. Chair, but this is just a copy I needed to make for y'all. But this shows you the ordinance in 1999 that recognizes Fort Pickett as an integral part of our emergency services safety system. And every county has an ordinance that says that all departments are recognized as an integral part of a public safety, well, actually an emergency services system. So that's what that front page you're looking at from me says. This is everybody. And we have it all right here. We're a system, not a department. We're a system. And this doesn't threaten the individual departments. And then as we find need to do any kind of building of our department at the county level, we're already here too, and there's no change needed. You just continue to use this. And then you build other ordinances off of this. As we go into EMS, as we've publicly said, we will look at what do we need to do. And it's a big if at this point. So this is I just want to give you this as a starter point, and I'm ready to keep rolling with it. When you're ready.
Buddy.
Yes, sir.
You know, you mentioned the presentation we got the other night. Have the other departments been briefed on this?
If you would like Chief Shaneff to come up, I would love to him to give you the same
That's fine.
short rundown.
I mean,
like
you know,
did.
He got volunteered.
I think Steve and I got,
Well, let me say this. This is, and that way we won't put, because you want everybody to work together.
right, exactly.
But I was on that, because I signed that thing, I was chairman back then, but I was on the fire department, and they've said it all along, back in Paul Bennett's time, John Shute, now Brian Welch. There's a big concern with that department, that if they lose that EMS part of that department, they're gonna lose that fire department. And when you lose a post office, and when you lose the only restaurant, you lose the only grocery store, and then you lose your fire department, you lose your town. And I think, and I don't know, I think as a group, somehow or another, if you could help resolve that apprehension of losing that. Joy, do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pointing to Joy, but it's the whole team, all the leaders, and Ron, anybody. And I don't know how to do that, but it was like that when I was in the fire department. It was. I mean, and because I guess the revenue recovery helped and that kind of thing. Anyway.
It does, and if I can, I mean.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, I grew up in a department at Sal's of Burkeville and has a dual house, a fire and EMS, and everybody back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000, like Victoria, North Halifax, Alberta, Burkeville, many different places, you know, 2 in Halifax County, Turbeville. All of those dual houses were doing EMS to help buy fire trucks. They'll tell you that. In the beginning, it was good enough to where you could help buy fire trucks. Over the years, it got so expensive that we ended up just taking the EMS revenue and putting it on payroll. Because what happened in the very beginning is these departments, like the ones I just mentioned in Southside Virginia and all across Virginia, weren't paying people. They were just taking the money they were getting from revenue and putting it on fire trucks or ambulances. They were able to do that. I lived it. I know it's true. So over the years, when payroll snuck in, we're talking millions now, or even at least 6 digits. So that just took your money away from your trucks. And that's really what's happening. So the fear always is, how are we going to survive? But I've talked to Chief Shute numbers of times about staffing. We all know. We all know. It's a problem everywhere you go. But if you can keep staffing up, the thing is with keeping fire staffing is you still have to keep the ambulance staffed. So you have to do what we call you know, jumping between trucks to make the call happen, and you just have to be able to do that. So, but I think if we need to help on the fire side, that's probably the solution. You know, fire side may need some help, and that would keep you from having to lose fire. You know, let's fix EMS first. Let's fix EMS. Fire's rolling good in you know, in most areas here, and then what we can do is look at that. It may be just 1 or 2. Mr. Rourke had the idea a while back. You could put a couple firefighters here and a couple there. That's how you keep from losing fire. You're not talking big numbers. You could take those numbers, Mr. Toth, that I gave you. Now that could be used for fire or EMS. The way I left that is you could use it either way. You just pick the salary range.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, real quick, the part of what we've heard here tonight is the value is immeasurable, whether you look at it through the 120 number or the actual number. It's immeasurable, because at the end of the day, what they do is saves this county money. They were talking 1.5 million currently. As the volunteers get beat down because of a levy that desperately needed to be put in place, that number of savings will go down. And that number will go up. We're talking 2.5 million to run 3 squads 24/7 because of the call volume, not because we want to run 3 units, because the citizens call us, demand it. All right, so now all of a sudden, when we have to put them in the fire station at full staff, now we just, in 1 year's time, we went to the cost of 1 HVAC system for the school, $4 million. There you go. So it's immeasurable. And one of the things I think that should, and this is, I don't feel we're putting the cart in front of the horse here. We're talking about fixing emergency services, but I'm talking about the emergency medical, the EMS side of it. But I think we're almost going to have to include the transition going into the fire departments as well as this. And I mean, if we're going to be doing a levy, to your concern, Mr. Bowen, why would we implement a levy if it's going to eventually force the closure of a fire department because they're not being funded? I mean, I think that's, you know, that belief that they may have to close if they're not running medical calls out of there. Why are we going to institute a levy? I mean, it's desperately needed. It has to be moving forward.
I never thought that they wouldn't run emergency calls out of there, EMS calls, I mean.
Right. What I'm saying, if the levy's not going to help keep that department open,
Then why do we do it?
bingo.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to also add, Mr. Hyde, thank you for finding this document, because it shows our mission hadn't changed. From 1999 to current, the mission is the same. Times change, equipment changes, technology changes, and the money changes. But what doesn't change in this document. It says we should show mutual respect in what we say and how we act toward all members across the board. It shouldn't be us versus them departments. We all need to work together because we all do work together. And you pointed out one, this Fort Pickett. That's something we got to look at in the future because right now they've cut off our mutual aid. And that may change due to state funding, et cetera. But thank you for bringing us the article. It is, in essence, a bombshell because it's something that existed. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Correct, and that is unedited, because I didn't have an electronic copy. That's scanned right out of the box.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything for Mr. Hyde?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me know how I can help.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Hyde.
Sir, thank you. All right, number 11 is Piedmont Regional Jail Authority. 9 VCBR members. Down another one. They stayed home. That's good.
Get them lower.
Excellent.
Yeah, and they had the audit yesterday, no findings. And the jail was, hate to say profitable, but there was some extra revenue. So we'll have a discussion in January about what that does for our 7 counties members.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman? Sure. About the regional jail. How are we coming along with our reimbursement? And Steve may know more than you.
I have not heard from the senator, from the senator's office probably since August. Probably time to file up and see.
Right, I think what they're trying to do is change the code, and I gotta be careful what I say. They're trying to change the code for they call them resident, okay? So to change the code that the resident is not a Nottoway County resident, their residence is where they came from. If they do that.
Not where they lay their head, but where
That's
they
right. If they do that,
originated.
and I think that's what Senator Mulcahy and Lee Ware, Delegate Ware is hoping. If they do that, the question is logistics. If I'm over there in VCBR and I get in trouble and I'm from Fairfax County, well, that means they can't go where the Piedmont Regional Jail was only a few miles up the road. I guess they're gonna have to go to Fairfax County.
There you go.
So somebody, but I reckon that's not our problem.
Be a good thing if they did do that.
Exactly.
Right, but anyway, so
They send them down here, they can take them back.
so I think that's what they're trying to change the code to include that. But
I see Supervisor Rourke shaking his head and chewing on his glasses.
No, I was thinking that.
He
I
does
thought
that a
they were
lot.
seeking reimbursement from the areas in which they came
Well,
from.
we were trying to bill the state directly, and so that's the first I've heard of that. I hadn't, like I said, I hadn't
yeah,
talked to the senator.
well,
I
what?
think this is an addition.
Yeah, well, now if this is going to be the new way, only the VCBR residents that go to Piedmont Regional Jail is the ones who came from Nottoway County. So you wouldn't have to bill them. You got to pay that.
So we'll leave it as a work in progress.
It's work in progress. And they think it's going to, because really when they reimburse us, they're not reimbursing us all our money anyway. It was $400,000.
costing a lot
So
of money.
it's such a moving target. If you change I think what they're trying to say, if you change the code of Virginia and get that passed, it would.
But if it
take that.
passes in the long run, it's gonna save us money.
A lot.
Oh, a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Several $100,000.
I think
why
we're
I
down,
asked.
what, 200,000, Mr. Chair?
200, yes.
Yeah. All right.
200 there, 200 here, 200 there.
Yeah, 250 surprise. Meh.
A nothing burger.
G12 Pickett Park, Mr. Bowen?
We're gonna talk a little bit about it in closed session, sir.
Session,
Yeah.
okay. Constitutional officer reports, we've got Ms. Brown, Jean Brown.
She's not here, but would you like to take a look at H1? Normally she don't have a report, but that's her letter of resignation.
Okay, we did have
And I mentioned it to her the other day. I said, Jane, I've only known 2 circuit court clerks. That's James King and Jane Brown. I don't think I've ever known another one. Did you?
I've known a few.
Okay, so you're a little bit older. You and Joey Chanel.
Hodges Boswell,
Okay. Anyway.
Sheriff Jones.
Hubbard.
Anything?
First name.
Merry Christmas, come on. More happy Thanksgiving.
He seen that beard, he said, Merry Christmas.
He thought Santa Claus.
Who shaved November?
I don't have much to say. I ain't gonna be up here long. I'm just gonna let y'all know that our healthy dispatcher, that's going along well. They were in the office this past week, just looking at everything, going through records. Again, like, they're the ones that's getting all the information so they can get us a good policy manual, a good training manual and all. The power phone, that's been implemented. That was implemented last month. That's working real good. I haven't got any complaints on my desk this month, which is a good thing.
Excellent.
And then I was able to start in, I believe it was November 3rd, I hired a dispatch director. She's here with us tonight, Miss Marion Lawson.
Oh,
Just want y'all to see
Welcome.
her face.
congratulations.
And that's
Welcome
about it
again.
for me. I ain't gonna, like I said, I ain't gonna be up here long, but just happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
you.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving,
sir.
Excellent news about
Thank you.
dispatch. Yes, sir. Ms. Rayford, treasurer,
Nothing.
Christy
reports in
Hudson.
She did meet with us and say that she's been real tickled with the amount of money that's coming in already.
Yes.
A lot of people are paying ahead of time.
Yeah. And we got Commonwealth Attorney.
No report. It might be in your
She's
file.
got, yeah, she's got her chart.
I'm not saying it.
I will say, there was an article in the newspaper this week, and it talked about a man that had been charged again, and he had a paragraph of charges and sentencing and years suspended, and is that the state that allows those things to happen? You're sentenced to 53 years, you get 50 suspended, and then the
Yeah,
next
I
spring, you're right at it again, and you get 10 years, but they suspend 2 years.
Where does that come from? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want to make no comment. Somebody might want to bring me up on something.
All right. But it's kind of egregious when you have somebody that's that, not a good member of society. Okay, CARES, anything going on?
Well, the only, of course, in your report, it just shows you some of the funding that the CARES group is bringing to the table with that project. We are, the building's getting closed up. I did have to do a change order, right steep one, those windows were leaking in the doors up front. So we are going to have to, I'm going to have to replace that, but I still feel like we're going to fall under budget. I was hoping we'd fall under budget more than that. You'll see, we did get, and I got Logan here tonight too, Logan Presley. We did get an audit, and in our audit, you're going to see a report, and Logan helped me out. It was about the IDA. Evidently, when I brought the IDA together, and I thank y'all for the names you gave me, and so I got them together, and then we borrowed the money from the IDA to build the animal shelter. But it seems like, I think, Logan, am I right? Every time we draw money to pay the contractor, they're supposed to approve that.
Yes.
So, like the bank, I guess, Bill. You see what I'm saying? Right.
Yes, the auditor said when we did our exit interview that even though they approved the overall loan amount of the 2.1, they do need to meet regularly to approve any of the payments that we make to the contractors.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to get them together to retroact all of the payments that we've already made.
And then again, because of the holidays, so I'm looking at trying to get them together 1st of January. So it's a lot of people on
So
vacation.
you're doing a construction drawdown.
That's what I'm doing, and so I got to get everything
You're
retroactive.
showing progress to your lender.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. But anyway, just wanted to clarify that because you'll see that, and I share that with the finance committee. So anyway, they're aware of it. All right. That's really all I have right now in the animal shelter. Do you think of anything?
Well, I want, if anybody gets a chance to look at, the gentleman that's kind of looking after the construction for Steve, he issues like a report every couple of weeks, and he has pictures. And there were some really good pictures the other day that, I mean, if you go by there, you'll see that all the exterior has been changed. And he reports everything that's been done now. So we know where it's standing. I was not able to go to the last meeting of CARES because,
Oh,
I had, they were checking my head to see if there was anything in it. They found some stuff, so I'm still there.
All right.
But I could not attend it. But I got the report from Ms. Elsie, and she sent me the pictures, and I think they had them on Facebook. If y'all got CARES in you can go see them. But it looks really good.
And they're helping me. You know, I had to put a big. It's got where the animals stay, which is code. And I know the lady mentioned it. It's not a park. It's an animal shelter, and it's code of Virginia that we have to follow. And I gotta, I got to figure out what's comfortable for an animal. I mean, we're not putting the air conditioner somewhere down to 60 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a right nice sized building. So,
Yeah.
and the CARES group is helping with that as also. And I'm gonna lean on the state vet's office. You know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. But hopefully we're gonna have some kind of opening maybe in February in that area, March anyway. So, and I'll keep you informed. But we'll see how things go. But it's They are bringing, I call it, they got skin in the game. CARES has been wonderful about participating and giving us money for that project.
And you'll also see in here, they're working on that volunteer program.
Yes, that's the, once I get that moving a little bit, I'm gonna give that to our lawyer to review, and then it has to be put in my HR policy as an appendix, so, anyway. Anyway, that's really about all I have.
Sheriff already mentioned dispatching, Mr. Rourke, Mr. Toth, did you have anything?
Mr. Chairman, actually I do, and I want to ask Mr. Toth how he feels about this too. If dispatching is calm and cruising right now, do we even need to keep this committee in place right now? If there's
I recommend you disband it for right now.
That's what I was
I think right now, y'all on a lot of committees.
Okay.
If the board's
So,
okay with that.
Is that a consensus, or we have to make a motion?
I think a consensus would be okay.
It's a consensus.
Is that way
We're gonna
okay?
close the dispatching committee, is that?
You good with that, Sheriff, too? Okay. That's right.
Okay. Wow.
Anything on broadband,
They rolling right along.
public safety radio project? I don't think, I don't have anything.
No, not right now.
Do we want to keep that one open?
Yeah, I need to keep that there. We gotta, that is gonna affect our budget with the new towers that we have to go up,
So we
but
gotta-
anyway,
Yeah, we're gonna have to,
yeah, I'll
almost
try
time
to,
to start talking about getting some tenants for our tower.
yeah, that's right, anyway, if you don't mind.
We got
P-
courthouse PPEA update,
Yep.
Administrator Bowen.
Okay, so we got a PP, so I'm gonna yield to just kind of give us unpack it for us with our county attorney, Ms. Douglas. Another little, I call it a little hiccup.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, as you all remember, we've accepted the proposal to move forward with English construction.
That's John's family. He didn't know they were coming. I can see that. They done showed up on it.
So we've accepted the proposal to move forward with English construction. The next step is entering into what we call a comprehensive agreement. We, as in me and Gary, have received a draft of the comprehensive agreement, and we're going through it now. It's taking time. However, before we can enter into a comprehensive agreement, we have to open what the state refers to as a public comment period. This is simply a period for public comment. It gives the public an opportunity to make any.
Give them information to comment on? or-
Well, they already have the proposal from previous.
So that's available at administration?
Yes, it should
or
be
scan,
available.
Or we
Yeah,
get it online or something?
that's correct. You don't have to have a public hearing for this. You just have to provide an opportunity for comment. However, at the next board meeting in December, I think it's
28 days or something.
the 18th, it was our original intention to have the comprehensive reviewed by Gary and myself and English's lawyers and then sent to you guys to review. And hopefully that would coincide with that 30-day agreement. That's 28 days. However, that's not a huge deal. It's right by the holidays, so again, we can have a public hearing to accept, or we can have a public hearing on the comprehensive agreement, take public comment on it, and then at the next work session, I think that's January
8th, I think.
Eighth.
That'll be the organizational meeting.
Yeah, organizational meeting, and it's the second Thursday. I think January 1st is the Thursday. That would be like a work session night too as well.
It would, yeah, it would be at a work session, I
Yeah,
think.
right.
We could accept the agreement at that time, so, if so desired.
Okay.
Any
for me?
questions for me?
Yeah, so.
I got something to read. With an intention to enter into a comprehensive agreement in accordance with Nottoway County's public-private education Facilities and Infrastructure Act, I make a motion to enter into a public comment period of 30 days, whereby which citizens can submit public comment to the Board of Supervisors for their comments on the proposal submitted to and accepted by Nottoway County.
Second.
Wait a minute. Furthermore, I move that the Nottoway County Board of Supervisors advertise to and conduct a public hearing to receive public comment on comprehensive agreement between English Construction and the county regarding courthouse facility construction.
My second stands.
After we beat back in. Sorry, but
Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Five
all
in-
right, thank you for that. Thank you, Dickie, for writing up that motion.
Yeah, all right. Notice I put my glasses on, right?
All right, we've got IF. Anybody want to report on any of their committees?
I will forego mine until we do the correspondence,
Okay.
because it mentions in there.
I2, Board's Code of Ethics, Mr. Rourke.
Yes, sir. With some questions from some citizens and some concerns, I want to ask the board if citizens come to any of us and have complaints about any of us with our code of ethics, how do we address that? And then what is the quote-unquote punishments for said things? I mean, what's the options? We have adopted the code of ethics, but there's no clarity as to the enforcement of it.
And also, you talking about if a citizen comes to us regarding another board member.
Right.
Versus us specifically.
Right, right.
I think I might have heard you say,
Yeah.
come to us regarding.
In other words,
That's what I want them to do if it's about me.
which is more likely to happen if somebody gonna come to y'all and complain about me. So, what's the process?
like
I
what?
want the citizens to know.
Yeah, what is the process? Let's-
I'm
let's
gonna,
let the citizens know.
I think we talked about this before, and maybe not in open, but
Well, there's some code out there, and it's civil matters. There's no criminal
Right.
matters. For instance, we have a closed session, and a board member would then open this, share that information. And then that's I believe it's a petition that has to be done, and then it goes before a judge, I think, and it could be a $1,000 fine, I think.
Yeah, so it really depends on what the ultimate issue is. If, for that example, if you violate a closed session, and whatever's discussed in closed session is discussed outside of closed session, then that could lead to a fine upon board approval and pursuit. However, generally speaking, if there is a complaint given regarding a supervisor, it would be the recommendation to bring it to the board or the other board members, and then issue a public reprimand if voted upon and necessary.
In open or closed?
That'd be open.
Public.
Yeah, it would be open.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in other words, if I'm hearing this right, if somebody comes and has a complaint against me to another supervisor, that person would be asked to come before the board and make that complaint, correct?
Not necessarily, they could.
Okay.
So if, for example, I complained to Bo about you,
Right.
then Bo could take that complaint to the remaining board members, discuss it. I assume that you could have the citizen or individual come speak to that. I don't think it's a necessity. However, a reprimand or a public censure would be appropriate.
You said public censure, but where does hearsay come into that? Just asking.
Well, hearsay is applicable in a court of law. It is not applicable for a board of supervisors.
So the precedent has already been set because citizens come to us about a litany of issues and we bring it forward without having the citizen come forward. So that makes sense, all right?
I think it's
So
upon the
what-
discretion of the board.
My problem is, if you're gonna make a complaint against me, come up here and make it. Don't go to another board member.
Or just call me on the phone.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I mean, why should Bo have to complain to the rest of the board about somebody who came to him and said something about me.
And it's kind of like that game you played when you were a kid and it went down the line and it changes.
Telephone,
Right.
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
All right, so what I want to do right now is, Sheriff, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I also want to apologize to your dispatchers. I also want to apologize to your deputies, because on July 17th, I sat here in shock and did not ask for a point of order when this board was weaponized against you and your department. I want to apologize to you. I will do better next time, sir. And I'm sorry that that happened. I'm sorry that someone took their position on this board and embellished the story to attack you and your department. It was uncalled for and it was not fair. And I will not let it happen again. I will object next time. Y'all did not deserve that. And if anybody's got any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
I missed that one.
Okay, well, on
I
July...
think about 2/3 of us did.
Okay. On July 17th, Miss Michelle Graham was standing before the Board of Supervisors here, advising us of some changes to the system over there that was coming in, and right here, District 3 Supervisor said that she had a question of Sheriff Jones. And it started, oddly enough, when District 3 Supervisor says, because of an incident I was involved in on July the 3rd, I'm asking this. Then states, I've been getting a lot of calls and complaints about people shooting in the town of Crew. Then states, I know we had a shooting in Blackstone. Then states, on July 3rd, when I was setting up for the 100-mile yard sale, it was 4 of us, and we literally got shot at. I called the deputies on the non-emergency line. We got shot at twice. I want you to know what you're doing for gun violence, or have you noticed an increase in this? I'll pause there. First of all, I want to know what you're doing for gun violence. That is not within the purview of this board to demand that man to explain his actions to anybody sitting on this board. That is for the voters to deal with. That is not for us to sit up here and chastise him on his department. Moving on, she asked, are you working with the towns to put it in a whole different, perspective to me? We are not. It is not within this board's purview.
This is all public information. I don't think we need to read it word for word.
Okay, yeah.
You're given the dates.
Okay, yeah, so then as it moves forward, the concerns that has been, since this happened, so just so you know, when some citizens brought some concerns to me, it was 2 that said on July the 5th, someone who was at the scene, told them that there was 2 shots fired in the air and that the vehicle left the stop sign. So another set of citizens are concerned about the change in the story. The change in the story happened the day of the incident because I was called and so was another supervisor on this board. So it went a phone call to non-emergency, then a phone call went to Mr. Collins, a phone call went to Mr. Toth, then a phone call went to me and I answered it. In that time frame, I passed the first responding officer right around Bravos. And then as I proceeded on into town, the second responding officer was right around the ball fields. So with that, I was on the phone with Ms. Norton. She explained to me, as stated to another supervisor as well, that there was 4 black gentlemen with dreadlocks. 4. And then we set up here and allowed the sheriff to be condemned in his department when they didn't know how many black men with dreads they should have been pursuing, because the story changed to driving Miss Daisy, that there was one in the front seat and two in the back seat. And then the questions became, they were shot at and then rolled the windows down and yelled some ugly stuff. How do you shoot at somebody and not blow the window out? So I'll be damned if I'll ever sit up here again and let a sheriff and his department and his dispatchers be attacked for whatever reason, knowing, and Sheriff, that's
Mr. Rourke, I'm gonna go to code number, on number 5. Treat the public, county employees, and fellow public officials with professionalism, courtesy, and respect.
Yes, sir.
So just, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Just remember you're under the code too.
Right, that's right. So I'm just saying, I'll be damned that I'm going to sit up here and allow that to happen to them when the story, so the terminology that has come from the sheriff's department, because this, and they won't come to you and tell you that it's damaged, but I apologize to several dispatchers and a deputy and the sheriff personally already to their faces. And my concern is simply this: how do we protect the integrity of the board when people already don't trust government? People already believe that we got silver spoons and lying in our pockets, and now we sit up here and attack them with a change in story, and we sit up here and allowed it. We allowed that because no one's questioned it, and some of us sitting up here, all you got to do is go back and look at the video. Some of the board members were floored because the story changed. The story changed from that day. How does it go from 4 black men with dreadlocks to driving Miss Daisy, one up front and 2 in the back? That happened within a matter of minutes. And when I filed the FOIA to clear this up with the citizens, Ms. Norton refused to sign the waiver so the sheriff would release the video footage. So my question is, why would Ms. Norton take the time with this body and bring this body into it, and she chose to make it a story? She chose to make it a public spectacle. And then when the citizens can be shown the videotape that there was no change, she refused it.
That's her,
But she involved this board in a disgraceful act against that sheriff, his dispatchers, and those deputies. And they feel a certain way about it, and I'm not going to put up with it again, and this board shouldn't put up with it again, because that number, I'm glad you read number 5, because everything in that, she violated when she done that to the sheriff and his 2 departments that he oversees. And like I said, there's board members sitting up here that know she changed her story. She actually left a voicemail saying that there was 4, not 3. And it wasn't on my phone.
Mr. Rourke, what is your point in all this tonight?
You
Why
wanna-
didn't you come to me and ask me? Have you ever been shot at?
Yes.
It was a volatile situation. There were many witnesses. Now let's go back to the code of ethics and integrity. What about you going on Facebook Live and accusing this entire board of malfeasance over a $25 charge that came to be not true?
See, if you would pay attention to what was said.
Mr. Chairman, I think you need to interact. This is turning into argument.
I'm done with
need to
this,
interject, sir.
John.
Yeah, I don't care if
We're
you're done with it or
supposed
not.
to
You ain't gonna
work
sit up here and
together.
attack that sheriff again.
We're supposed to
Hey.
work together.
Calm down, John.
The sheriff
You did
and
the
I
same
have
thing to
already
the
All
Commonwealth
right,
talked.
Ms. Norton,
No, I didn't.
John.
And you need to go back and read that, look at that tape too, because
Ms.
you're
Norton
wrong.
and Mr. Rourke.
No. He made a statement and I'm gonna answer. This
All
is
right,
my,
I'm gonna call a recess.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
I need to smoke a cigarette.
you can't avoid the truth.
Hey, what's that guy on that town council out there in Michigan? What's that guy's name out there on TikTok?
Get your mics off.
Was because of the budget.
Get your mics off.
Yes, sir.
I'll show it to you.
I said she had an
Get your mics.
Yes, sir.
I spoke with Mr. Rourke, and he was ready to go from I-2 to I-3, which is taxes. What discussion did you have for us on that, Mr. Rourke?
All right, so I had forwarded you guys an email a while back about the potential of something to maybe try to help get a tax break to the citizens, and it was talking about a deferral. I talked with a couple of you about that, and Mr. Bowen about that. It sounds great in theory, but I don't think that that's going to be plausible due to some unforeseen things that was in it. But what I would like for y'all to think about, maybe consider putting on the next work session, is a lock-in on taxes. So basically, your property, once you hit 65, whoever your main home, and of course there's things that we have to work in with this. We'll have a lot of latitude with this. Once someone turns 65, at the current assessed value of the real estate that they're at, it stays that way until they pass. If it's in two people's name, it would, once they both turn 65, it would be locked in at the current value when they both turn 65. It is a way to give a tax cut to those who are retiring without cutting taxes. The price remains the same. So, and
That's worth discussion. You could do it either in rate remaining the same, or the actual dollars remaining the same.
Right.
Because you'd still want that home to reflect value
and that,
in the assessment, so then you'd have to figure out.
yeah, and that's exactly right, because me and Mr. Toth had a quick discussion about that as well, and that was the one thing. Now, if they sell the property, it needs to be at the value. So there'll be two values when you get your reassessment. One will be the one that they're paying on, and then the actual assessment, it's sold.
Okay.
The increase.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking that maybe that is something that we could do to get into a conversation about trying to save some.
I'd have to pass on that vote.
You put it on new business.
Why? Because you'd have to
Yeah, I'll have
pass
to
on
do
voting
some-
because you have a conflict of interest?
He ain't 65 yet.
When I turn 65, vote.
Oh, okay. Wait till then.
No, let's see, yeah.
All right, so we'll put that on the work session. Ms. Andre, to have discussions about that?
And just to clarify too, I know this lady had, spoken up here, and excuse me, I don't remember her name, but she said she had a hard time hearing us, so I'm trying to speak a little louder. To clarify, the Dillon rule, the Dillon rule is built in the Commonwealth of Virginia that tells what the counties should do. And I think Ms. Norton, when you were quoted in the paper, that's what you're getting at, whatever the Code of Virginia allows you. Code of Virginia, I think, just don't allow you to give an age, I don't know what you want to say, somebody over 65 a tax break. I think you got to show how much money you make in that year, and so the Code of Virginia it tells us what we can do and what we can't do. And the reason why they do that is because I don't want, it makes it fair where you don't give a tax break to your grandmother.
It's disparate treatment. You want
Right.
to treat everybody the same.
That's right, and that's why it's there. So I'm just letting you know, some of these ideas is great ideas, but we got to let the attorney look at it. Right, limited, very limited.
By the code in the process.
Right. But anyway, I just want to clarify that. But we'll take out a work session, but see what we can do and what we can't do.
Yeah, just look at the
Okay.
code.
It would help a whole lot of folks.
Yeah, oh, sure,
Yeah.
right.
It's kind of similar to,
Good
when you look
idea.
at land use and,
You're trying to do.
all right, thank you, Mr. Rourke. That's worth discussion.
Yes, sir.
All right, before we go into new business, we just had a recess. Would those two supervisors like Mr. Bowen to set up some time where they can discuss and try to work that out?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Rourke.
I will work on that.
Okay, we got new business. We're going to go to County Real Estate Assessments Administrator Bowen.
Okay, so looking at your packet, that's from Christie. Bill, that came from that situation that you I was peeling an onion.
Yeah, so this is as the new constructions come on.
Right.
We
All right.
passed an ordinance, and then Nick left. So
Right.
this is filling that gap.
So I'm not asking you to, she don't want you to vote or anything, and plus this agreement, don't even spell Nottoway right, that bothers me, I know that bothers y'all, anyway, so, and she said ignore the $450 of putting the data entry in, but the price, she says she's negotiating with them now on that $750 per diem, and I told Christy, Christy does go out and do these assessments, she has the ability, but a lot of it is a safety issue. You got to go in somebody's house, measure how big the rooms are, blah, 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 and it's not always comfortable anyway. And when she does go, she's got 3 staff. She has to go 2 because of safety, which I understand. But anyway, so just know that she's still negotiating that. That's just kind of give you, she's letting y'all know that she is responding to your request, Mr. Chairman. And
Yeah, and if they can get, $750 a day, so if they can get, get to 5 homes in a day, measure them, get them on a tax roll, then that's, you're to the positive to start collecting tax, over 6, if it's May, and you're gonna go collect tax for 7 months, you pay for the, sir.
Right.
So okay.
Okay, but anyway, so more to come on that, okay?
Where's this company located, do you know?
I don't know, Mr. Ingram, I should have looked that up. I went by what she had given us, but Vision.
She knows where they are.
Yeah.
This was, this didn't happen, the company that used to do it for us got sold, and then we had 18 months where we had all that new construction, didn't come, $4.8 million.
Yeah, that's right.
Of new construction didn't come on.
There's a whole lot of it going on.
Yeah, so.
Make some money too.
Yeah, all right. So this is an example where you had to pay a little money, get some more money back out.
Right,
But anyway,
To collect it soon.
to collect it soon, that's right.
All right, Burkeville boundary line adjustment.
Well, the mayor, he went out of here on me, but anyway, that is in your packet. I'm trying, where is that thing at?
J2.
Thank you, Mr.
He
Roy.
he is not picking up any of the solar ground.
No, if you look at that map and,
He's not getting Burke's Junction?
Nope.
no,
Stopping at the track.
if you look at that map, like right over there, Mr. Ingram.
I know where that is.
Yeah, but anyway, it looks like that the cemetery is, and that's what I wanted to ask him. I was shocked on that, and I represented Burkeville for years. The cemetery, well, it looks like I'm looking at that drawing, is not even in Burkeville right now, but it will be. You see what I'm saying? How he brought it in. I tell you what, the biggest push for this is that big block.
Right.
That is Lux Stone, and Lux Stone is where they're digging at now. They're getting to the end of the life of that. I think it was built. I think at Lux Stone they started digging out there in 1939 or something. I can't remember the year, but they're getting towards the end of that. What they can get rock there. They're talking about taking all that equipment, the main structure, and putting it over that land used to be Mr. Pape was his name. He died, and his son sold it to Lux Stone. And why it's so valuable, Lux Stone, the train spur goes up in there also. And so
They can load it, yeah.
they can load it up.
Fred Pate,
That's it, Fred.
and he passed away?
Yeah, years ago. That's what his property
Too many
was.
years ago, was it?
No, I may have been maybe 2 or 3.
Probably his son.
When this man was in his 90s, and he was
Yeah.
a milk truck driver.
Yeah.
Okay, go
Anyway, you know Fred, okay.
Is there
Anyway,
any- is there
good-hearted
any-
guy.
Is there any detriment to the county?
You
know of?
No, it's not any detriment I know of. But if they don't get that infrastructure of the Lux Stone, which they're getting that now, it could be detrimental to the town.
So it's gonna help their tax base.
It's going to help that tax base.
We know that they've lost and lost.
Yeah, and I mentioned, I didn't mention the school. I said it's closed at the post office. They had to fight to get that, and I'm just, but anyway, I think y'all all up here trying to keep.
No, we
down to Burkeville.
want to support Burkeville as much as we can, and if this is gonna help their tax base,
Is that gonna get that substation in it, Steve?
I think so, because if you look at
Looks like it,
Inverness,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
unless it.
Oh, across
unless
from
it-
Inverness.
You see that little pie shape?
Yeah.
Is it sitting right, is that where the substation sits?
It's right here, Inverness, they did not include the
Yeah, I
homes
think-
on Inverness, but that substation.
I think you're right,
Right over
Mr.
here.
Ingram. I think that thing is right there.
That's what I think,
Yeah.
That little pie shape?
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're getting our property,
Yep.
our dumpster property right there, and then the property that we own right across from the Frito-Lay place right there.
Right.
And I think Crew owns the other side, see? So
that's
they're butting up the Crew right there.
But if we don't, if there's no detriment and it helps crew, then,
Burkeville.
excuse me, Burkeville.
So-
Thank you, Mr. Roy.
So Nothing to sign today. I think we need to get the agreement, and then once they've got agreement, I know Bo tells me all the time, but just send it to the lawyer, let them look at it.
Yeah.
But
Bless you, lawyer.
but as soon as I say her name, you start sneezing. So, but anyway, so that's where we stand, and so that's going to be on as unfinished business as well. But it seems like right now they just want to get a pulse of the board. You're okay with what you see?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all they're looking for right now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything.
Greg, am I close on that? That's getting a pulse kind of much? Yes, sir. Okay. That's all right now. That's fine.
All right, we
Thank
had PSR board appointments. So we have 3 boards here. We have Piedmont Court Services Board, Piedmont Senior Resources, and the Southside Virginia Community College Board. What are we up to? Vice Chair Norton.
We have a opening on the Piedmont Senior Resources Board due to the death of Arlene Robertson. This appointee could be from anywhere in the county. It doesn't have to be District 3. It is a at-large, well, it would represent Nottoway County. Nottoway is allowed 2 representatives. Each county is allowed 2 representatives, and then PSR can appoint at-large positions as well. But I am putting it out there, and I hope it'll be in the paper. I'll put it out on our website that we need someone to serve this position. It's a term of 3 years, no more than 2 consecutive 3-year terms. And I will interject now that I did go to an event tonight for Share the Love for Piedmont Senior Resources. We do serve over 3,000 senior citizens in the 7-county area. So if you know of anyone, any age over 21 that wants to serve on this board and help our senior citizens and represent Nottoway, please get in touch with me.
All right, thank you, Ms. Norton. Right. Right, and this is going to be, Ms. Norton, also library board appointment, I believe, or is that?
Yes. The only difference with this appointment for the library board, it does have to be a citizen from District 3. This is filling the position of Ms. Jackie August Green that had to step down. So if you know of anyone that would like to serve on this board, it's not less than 5 members or trustees, and the local governing body can alternate this board, but 1 member from each district plus an at-large. So this person would have to reside in District 3, and I believe they only meet once a month. So if you could get in touch with me on that as well.
Mr. Ingram, I want to call attention, you're District 2? Well, no, is that?
He's District 1.
John, you're District 2. Becky Sones, she expires at the end of this month.
And that's on what committee there?
That's Library Board of Trustees.
J4, go flip over one more.
All right, okay.
You want to follow up?
All right, I got you. Yeah, I'll get in touch with her and see if she wishes to be reappointed.
Okay.
Okay.
We have J5 procedures for supervisor requests. This is Supervisor Rourke.
Yes, board members, what I want, and that lady was right, you can hear this thing once you hit that gavel. You can hear it. You couldn't hear it earlier, but anyway, so what I wanted to follow up on is like when supervisors make a request and we dig into something, usually, you know, and this is no fault of Mr. Bowen, the board gives consensus on items and the staff follows up on it. There was 2 items specifically that I was looking at, and Mr. Ingram had brought up what I thought was a great point about the taxes, the sales tax, and I understand, you know, we got a follow-up from Lee Ware, and someone else had sent something, forgive me, I forget the name.
Taxation department.
That's it, yeah. So, and, you know, I know the citizens is Bobby McWilliams specifically, sorry, Bobby, but he made a comment. He goes, so we vote to tax ourselves or y'all are going to tax us. It's true. It doesn't, what I'm going to say does not make his statement not true, but at the end of the day, at least with the sales tax, it gives us the opportunity to have an indirect tax instead of a direct tax. So I'm wondering, like with that, what do we do with that? I think Mr. Ingram had a great idea, and do we just let that die with the?
I think, you know, not to interrupt you, but I think right now, this current situation is gonna be in Richmond, we might have a better chance of getting this.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because the governor, current governor,
He vetoed it for the school.
yes, Prince Edward got it through both houses of the General Assembly, got to the governor, he vetoed it. So I mean, I'm thinking if we can get this thing through both houses of the General Assembly, current governor,
Let go.
governor to be,
Yeah.
everybody tells me she's got a soft spot in her heart for Nottoway County, maybe she'll help us out.
Right.
Hope aside. Hope aside.
That's right.
Hope.
So that's what I was wondering. So what do we do with that in particular? Just me personally, I would love to continue
Yeah, I like to
pushing
pursue
on
it.
you.
And just see what we have to do. I know we gotta have a referendum.
Right.
Well, Delegate Ware, I don't know if y'all remember, before you come up with that idea, I said, well,
Right.
can we use a penny to build a courthouse? You remember that?
Right, you can't do that.
And he said, you can't do that. You can only do it for schools. So I don't know, that's another example of the Code of Virginia.
Well, maybe we can get something going in. I'm just thinking, you look at the surrounding counties, they're facing the same thing we are.
Right.
We're becoming more paid and fewer volunteers. And so if we can get something in there that would fund this volunteer, our extra tax that we added on, maybe that would help with that. And again, it would be the people of the county would decide whether they want to have it or not.
Right.
It wouldn't be us saying, hey, we're gonna tax you. It'd be them saying, we're willing for y'all to
You
tax
guys
us.
want to work together on that? And see
Yeah.
about
Well, and
contacting Delegate Ware or-
I think John is also talking about other things as well. How do we, like when Mr. Ingram brought up something, how do we keep that from dying? How do we pursue that? What is the procedure?
And that's what I was gonna follow up. Bo, it's funny you mentioned that because the other one was yours. It was something that you'd done. And you guys may remember a few months back, I had asked about the procedures for us investing our money. You know, and I understand that there was something that the treasurer had to do by code and stuff like that. Well, I need to make sure that all pertinent information is followed through, because I know Bo specifically put a card in the treasurer's hand, and
Oh, it was somebody that would like to bid on some
yeah,
CD.
that bid on, and they were never contacted.
Right.
So, I understand that we have no control over constitutional officers. However, your idea, Mr. Toth, was more than being a good steward of taxpayers' money. What if we got a better rate? Yes, you would like to stay local
Absolutely.
at every opportunity, but if it was a better rate for the citizens, that should have been followed through. Just like this could save the citizens money. We're talking stuff that can save the citizens money. So that's why I'm speaking of these requests specifically. And how do we keep that from happening?
Well, if they say no, do you want them to say no, no, and no? What do you do? I don't do, y'all.
What do you mean if somebody says no? No, by no action or saying the word no?
No, the emails that on that situation with Dickie said no. The lady from taxation said no. All right, what do you want me to do?
No, you did all you could do on that specific instant.
Right. And I just didn't want it to die because it was a great idea, it could save the taxpayers money. So then one of the things that I thought about was, can we do a regional effort? Can we get other counties to sign a letter, then send it to some delegates?
I think the supervisor that has the particular idea needs to make sure that that idea makes it to unfinished business on the next agenda.
Okay.
And that way it doesn't just
Right.
go in
To
the
keep
rearview
it
mirror.
on paper, yep.
Keep it there so that,
Yep.
it gets talked about at every meeting until
Something is done.
Sounds good to me.
Okay?
All right, we'll
And
keep-
then for like something with Bo, like I said, you can't force a constitutional officer to do something.
I don't remember
but
that one, Bo.
Was there even an RFP done, or was it the old style phone calls that was done that was just like, hey, give us a rate, give us a rate, give us a rate? They may not be required, I don't know that code, but if they're not required to put out an RFP,
No, I know what you're saying.
yeah,
Calm down.
there's a better way.
I told John I thought they did because I think some of them didn't respond.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did, they contacted 4 or 5 different people.
right.
But what John's point is they didn't contact one that was expecting to be contacted.
Right. So we
But-
need to make sure
Right,
all
right,
avenues are
right,
followed
right.
up.
I know what you're talking about then, John. I got you. We'll work on that, try to improve that, and I'll do that myself. And then maybe where I really failed on that, I should have showed y'all the no. Oh, maybe I just said it. Anyway,
Just
put it in the
remember to
packet,
use
you
our,
know.
remember to use our unfinished business. to
Yeah,
keep-
yes, sir.
That's
Gotcha.
a good plan.
All right.
All right, we've got, we're gonna go into consent items, correspondence.
It's I6. No, J6, he
Oh, I'm
was
sorry, we had
amended.
Oh, the decals in the
Decal
past.
pass, okay, yeah.
All right,
J6.
Mr. Chairman, board members, there was some questions that have been asked recently about where exactly the decal money and the pass-through money is going that was formerly going to fire and rescue. I think, all right, the fire departments, and I don't want to misstate, so if I misstate, y'all forgive me if there's anything that I misstate with this. So the fire departments didn't ask for any additional monies.
They did not, that's right.
All right, and so there was, you know, but I think, if I'm reading this right, that there may have been some things that was rolled over into the levy that essentially, in a way, maybe had taken some funding from them. So I believe, if I'm correct on this, Mr. Hyde's salary is rolled over into the levy now.
That's right.
All right, so.
And the auditors and everybody agreed with that.
All right, okay, all right, so I guess if they're, even though they're not asking for money this year, there were some things that happened that said, okay, well, with the levy, now that's coming out, you know, his salary's coming out where it was budgeted for before in line items, I'm assuming with the rest of the
It
salaries.
just came out of general fund.
Right,
Well.
so I guess now for clarification.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. It came out of just real estate tax.
Right.
Okay, personal property and real estate tax, which I call the general fund.
Right.
Okay. I was gonna
So,
clarify.
can we get some clarity as to where?
My understanding is that their dollar figure has not changed just because you no longer called it sticker money.
Right.
You have a bucket of dollars, and, 3 cents, 7 cents, sticker money, it's all in the same bucket.
well-
My understanding is that the dollar figure that the fire department receives is the same.
All right, but didn't the decal money and the pass-through money, that's gone into the general fund and it's not?
Pass-through money, no. Logan, can you get up and talk about pass-through, and then we'll talk about general fund. I mean,
Okay, all right.
I'll talk about the decal money.
Okay.
Pass-through money does not go in our general fund.
Okay, all right.
It goes
I
straight,
was
it
asking.
passes through us, right? Okay.
All right, so the pass-through money, there's two avenues that comes in. It's the aid to the localities and the
Okay.
four for life.
Okay.
And Buddy can help me a little bit with this because I used to do this and I don't do it anymore. So one of them is something you put in for paperwork and then we're kind of reimbursed back. And I want to say that's the fire, four for life. The fire is automatically given to the localities, so we don't really have to apply for that. That's just straight pass-through money. So they both come from the state, and once we get those monies in, we disperse it out to whoever it is on our budgeted sheets. So before y'all came in, I laid out a sheet, and it looks like this in front of you. So the first column of each one is FY '26 budgeted figures. The second column is the FY '25 budgeted figures. And you can see at the bottoms who all gets what amounts and then what the difference is between the 2 years. The only two that went up is the Nottoway Emergency Squad and the Burkeville Rescue Squad. So those are the only two that got extra money. But everything from like the pass-through, even though we used to put it in the general fund, it's now under the fire and EMS fund. So we're showing on the fire and EMS side is that money coming through, but it's still coming through from the state. It's not covered by the tax levy or anything like that. That is actually still coming from the state.
Okay, but is the fire department getting that pass-through?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right.
All right, but then the other question, so let me back up, and I'm gonna say part of it, and then I'm gonna, and Buddy's going to bat for the fire departments. I mean, he comes to me about these things. The decal money, in FY '25, we received $188,000, $188,552. You got that number straight?
Yes.
We budgeted $215, and we gave that decal money to everyone.
It was 50,000 to,
Yeah, 50.
Excuse me.
We actually had to actually go in to round it up to 50. We had to go into the general fund to give more money. Okay.
it
So,
was to the fire
so
department.
where's the decal money? Well, right now the decal money is sitting in there with the rest of the pot of the money. But come February, how much? If we keep writing a check for $62,500, And I only got $188,000, let's round it up, let's pretend I get 200,000 of decal money this round. How much money am I gonna write a check to the emergency services?
Well, I know that if we still continue to do the 62.5 every month, in February, we would have to come back to the board to ask for an additional $290,000.
Right, okay,
To
so
finish
start
out
right
the
now,
fiscal
that's,
year.
that's not a way of emergency service, I get it. So Buddy comes to me and goes, man, Steve, what about these fire departments need trucks and stuff like that? I said, well, maybe that's something at budget time we need to take a look at. Maybe next, because when we did this levy, we didn't have a clue how much money it was going to take to move. I really didn't, y'all. And I don't think y'all wanted to raise taxes with so much. And so we didn't really raise taxes. We didn't raise the tax levy to meet what they asked for. We did not. They asked for $800-some thousand, and we raised it till they got $500,000.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Mr. Bowman, you said emergency service, you meant emergency squad.
Squad, yes, sir. The EMS.
Yes.
I should say EMS. Yeah. And I think now Mr. Welch the Chief Welch is saying they need more money.
Yes.
All right. So this year, and I'm thankful that the fire departments worked with us. I mean, but yeah, we're gonna have to start some type of fund for equipment.
Yeah, capital.
Yeah, of capital, and that may be with the decal money. That's what Buddy said. Well, Buddy, he said, Steve, we didn't need to take a look at that. And I said, okay, that's something we got to talk like the next budget. But I think the biggest thing, if y'all could just bear with us, we gotta stop this bleed somehow. Now,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, and they were gracious. The fire departments were gracious enough to do
Been
that.
gracious the last couple of years.
Right. Anyway, but right now, to answer your question, decal money is in that pond of water, the general, how you used it, John, and then when I got to write some more checks in February, I'm gonna reach over and get that drop of water and pull it out, but it still ain't enough.
No,
It's
still
not enough.
No.
It's not enough. That's what we keep hearing. School
It's not enough.
salaries,
Not enough.
school capital, and I mean, these are mandated services.
So, and I think some people are thinking, well, take Buddy's salary out of it, and then it'll be closer to what it was. All right, so Buddy's salary just is administrative salary. So then that's just gonna come out, so I gotta raise real estate to cover salary again.
Right.
I don't know what else to do. Anyway,
We
do
get rid
you
of-
understand
get
what I'm
rid of
saying?
levies and make it 58 cents.
Say that again. Oh, yeah, you said it fast. Don't say that again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't,
You catch it.
yeah, don't say that. Don't say that.
Recording.
We're gonna, add consent items, corresponding information items. I'd like somebody to make a motion to accept recommendations or amend consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to
Any
pay the
particular
bills.
item. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Ah,
Any opposed? All right, we're doing pretty well. We're right at just after 9:30. County Administrator report.
My biggest report is gonna go back in closed session, sir.
We're gonna go from comments from members of the board, and Vice Chairman Norton.
just wanna, thank everybody for coming tonight, and that the Thanksgiving season is upon us, that we should be grateful, the freedom to worship, freedom of speech, to be who we are, whether it to be chaos or peace. Grateful to serve the citizens of District 3, to make us better in Nottoway County, and I wish all of you on the board and the citizens a blessed Thanksgiving. And I want to thank you all, those of you that asked about my husband. He had a pretty rough surgery last week, and I appreciate your concern.
Supervisor Ingram.
Mr. Chairman, it concerns me when people make statements and really don't know what they're talking about. You know, and I hear it all the time. I felt empathy for the lady that came up here and spoke to us, but she doesn't realize that the judge is telling us what we gotta do. The thing with the animal shelter is, Steve has made the comment,
We were paying fines.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna pay $1,000 a day fine. We didn't do something. So, and people gotta remember, the first bid we got on the animal shelter was over $4 million. We have cut that in half. And hopefully we're gonna be under budget, like Steve said, and this CARES group is really helping us out. They really are. So, I mean, these are things that our citizens don't know, and they assume, and I wish some way we could get it to them. Sometimes, you know, I wanna say something, but I don't feel it's my place. Maybe it is, but you know, and Steve did correct the lady on that one. So, I mean, you know, it's things that are said to us that we really don't have any control over.
That's correct.
So we're working on it, and we're gonna do the best we can. I'm good.
All right, Supervisor Rourke?
I just want to wish everybody on the board, at home, around the world, a very happy Thanksgiving and peace and chicken grease.
You got any turkeys up there at the meet and greet?
Absolutely, got plenty of them.
Okay. Supervisor Toth?
I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I hope they eat too much like I probably will. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna take not even a minute to say it. It was brought to my attention by two different people. This thing sounds kind of loud. Let's move it on down here a little bit. That in our local paper that I have not had I call it the Curious Record, that Brother Billy Coben puts out, was put out something that was said at the night that we voted on not to sell the school. Something that one of the school board members had said publicly to me. When I heard about that, the second call I called Bill Outlaw, because Bill Outlaw is a friend of mine. I like Bill. I can tell him exactly how I feel, although he didn't expect me to do that when I did. I told Bill, I said, look, you can tell me certain things one-on-one, but you can't tell me certain things with 5 or 6 people listening or more that can let it out. And that was your opinion. You know, that's just his opinion. I said, not only did I screw up in his opinion, but I'm going to do it again as long as I stay alive in some sort of way. And I said, you have too. And you know what the first thing he did tell me was? He said, you ever said something you wish you hadn't said? I said, absolutely. So I'm not PO'd at Bill Outlaw. He shouldn't have said what he said, and he realizes that. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said, you ever wish you hadn't said nothing? So, in fact, I didn't even come here to plan to mention that. But I can't wait to get my hands on the Curious Record. And if dollar store's open when I go down 460, I'm going to get me one.
Appreciate you not bleeping up.
Oh, and I learned a new word this week. It's a nothing burger.
Nothing burger, that's right.
That's right.
That's all I got. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, nothing burger.
All right, I too wish everyone a grand Thanksgiving. Our hunters are in the woods, and that's tourism in this county. And I want everybody to be safe. Know your target, stay off the roads, enjoy Nottoway County. Make sure that just be safe. That's the main thing.
Very good about it.
Everybody enjoy your family. And I want each and every one of the board members here to continue to remind themselves that you are elected to be a supervisor of this county, and you represent the citizens of this county. And remind yourself as you go about your daily life and you go about working through these meetings and these challenges we have. We've got some good things that are possible with some numbers, but we'll see what happens. So I thank everybody for your service to the citizens. And that's all I've got.
I have the motion.
This motion?
Before you read the resolution, I should
Oh,
have
that's
said, I should have said, I don't know if I said it or not, because we had so many things going on. Well, I'm gonna try to get, Andrew help with a resolution, Mr. Chairman, for Jane Brown in December, okay?
Okay.
Please do.
And I imagine she'll have a little get-together or something. You'll let us know.
Yes, yes, sir,
About that.
yes, sir.
Okay.
I move that the Board of Supervisors of Nottoway County, Virginia adjourn into closed meeting pursuant to Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A. 3, discussion on consideration of the acquisition of real property for public purpose or the disposition of publicly held real property, where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, specifically regarding Pickett Park property.
I second.
All in favor?
I
Any opposed?
need more cowbell.
of Nottoway County, Virginia has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this Board of Supervisors that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Nottoway County hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Board of Supervisors, and no action was taken in the closed meeting regarding the items discussed.
Second.
All in favor? Excuse me.
Aye.
And a roll call. Mr. Toth?
I certify.
Ms. Norton?
I certify.
Mr. Ingram?
I certify.
Mr. Root?
I'm certifiable.
I certify that.
No more business, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I need a motion.
So moved to get out.
Second.
All in favor, stand up. Happy Thanksgiving, Greg.